Hi.
Well done. Tyler, Keith, Luke.
Making my return.
We're here with a review of Wonder Woman, the latest DC movie.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's finally getting her own solo film with Gal Gadot as the lead. So, DC has not had a great track record as of late with their movies.
Within the last 2 years, I would say.
So, all the way back to whenever Man of Steel was.
Oh.
Yeah, which was like 2013?
I forgot about Man of Steel.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to forget about Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of forgot that movie existed.
It's a forgettable movie. It really is.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, Wonder Woman was in Batman v Superman, so we kind of already got an introduction to her, but this is an origin story of her.
Yeah.
What you guys think? No major spoilers right now. We'll get into that later if desired.
I actually kind of liked it a little bit. It is compared to everything else so far in the DC extended universe. This movie is like the greatest thing to ever happen. One of the first things that I picked up on, like, after we had finished the movie, I get the feeling that, like, how the tone of this movie and how this movie ended up was kind of what they were hoping Suicide Squad would be, in which it gets dark and serious sometimes because it's dealing with World War I and things like that. But then there's also the lighthearted, funny moments sprinkled throughout, and which it's kind of the farther the movie went on, the more kind of serious it kind of became. And I just kind of kept on thinking that. I was like, oh yeah, that's because it kind of reminded me of that. There's like all like the quippy lines, especially in like the first hour. There's a lot of laughs. Some of them are more effective than others, but like that was one of the first things that I noticed. But like I liked it. You know, origin stories are like the one thing that nobody wants to hear about with superhero movies. But I feel like with Wonder Woman, they made it kind of work because it's on. I mean, I just think they did it really, really well. And yeah, casting wise, I mean, Gal Gadot I think she did a fantastic job.
Is that how you say it?
It is Gadot. It is Gadot. It is Gadot.
Yeah.
I heard someone say Gadot one time, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I saw Gadot because it's like she's
Gadot.
Israeli. It's
Gal
Gadot.
Gadot.
It's Gadot.
It is
like,
Gadot.
It's because it's
yeah.
So that's what it is.
Gal Gadot. That's it.
And then there's a lot of other. I mean, Chris Pine is obviously the other lead actor here.
He's the male lead.
Male lead. Danny Houston. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Plays the villain in a way. William Stryker from X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's immediately.
I thought he looked really familiar.
It was like, yep. Oh, he's in this movie. David Thewlis is in this movie. He plays.
Which was surprising to me, actually, because I haven't seen him in shit since
I think he was.
Harry Potter.
I think I've seen him in one other movie, and that was a movie with Emma Watson from like 2015, something like that. So it was a while ago. And then the only other actor that I really recognized was Ewan Bremner, who plays Charlie. Mm-hmm. I've seen him in like what is it? It's not Walking Tall. What's that one Rock movie with what movie is that?
The Rundown?
The Rundown. That's what. Thank you. That's the one. That's The Rundown.
Okay.
One of those early Rock
acting movies
where it's not that good, but it's a stupid action movie. And I thought all the actors did kind of a good job. David Thewlis kind of lost me a little bit towards the end. The very last couple minutes, I'm like, this is getting a little weird. But other than that, like, it's like acting's good. Well, I thought the settings were nice, but I'll let somebody else talk now. So
yeah, I mean, like he said, I think this is kind of. I agree with that. This is maybe what DC was kind of hoping for when they originally created Suicide Squad, and then it just kind of got out of hand and fell more to one spectrum than the other without a coherent story. This did much better. I would say this is probably the best DC movie within the past 5 years or so. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Highest rated superhero movie on Rotten Tomatoes last I checked. It was sitting at a pretty 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, that's the one thing you got to think about that with Rotten Tomatoes, which is a lot of people get the misconception. It's not bunch of people gave it hundreds and a couple
Yeah.
people gave it a bad score. It's 97% of people or whatever gave it
the movie.
gave it a nice review.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, whereas Metacritic it's at like a 7.7, something like that. Last I checked. So
it's not a terrible movie. It's not a. I wouldn't call it one of the top greatest movies of all time. I probably wouldn't even put it in the top 50 of all time.
yeah.
But it is still a very good superhero movie. It does a wonderful job of really introducing Wonder Woman as a character other than eye candy on a screen. Like she pretty much was in Batman v Superman. Let's be honest, that's kind of what she was.
Also, when you think about it, you can kind of take her out of Batman v Superman. It doesn't
change anything. She
It's like-
really wasn't important to the plot. Whereas this,
There's
did
a
a
lot
very-
that should have been taken out of Batman v Superman. But
I
that's,
mean,
that's a whole. That could be a whole nother video. But
there wouldn't be a movie left if you took out everything that shouldn't be a Batman v Superman.
yeah.
no, you have a movie up until fucking Martha, and then it all goes down.
And then
And
Yeah.
then the unnecessary shit just starts flying in left and right.
yeah.
I think this movie did very good with moments, which is something I really don't attribute to a Zack Snyder film.
Well, he only helped with the story a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he only helped kind of.
So he wasn't
Put the
he wasn't the
He's
lead director
kind
on
of
it.
I think he was up until he had to step down.
Yeah.
He was basically performing like Joss Whedon's role for a long time. How he was like a creative consultant on like I think the first two phases of the MCU.
Yeah.
He's so like I think that's what Zack Snyder basically is that he's just like a creative consultant up until
Maybe.
Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, there were lots of Zack Snyder sick shots. There was a lot of slow-mo throughout the first half of the movie. I really wouldn't say it was there when shit got real. But there was, I mean, there was, it had some cool scenery, some cool cinematic sequences. But where the movie, I think, really shined was in the little moments when there wasn't shit blowing up and all this other stuff going on over here and, introducing her to the world off of Mascara, if that's how you pronounce it.
The mascara.
The Mascara, yeah. Like, this is someone who has never seen a fucking car. This is someone who has never seen a plane. This is someone who has never seen a dude. And all of a sudden she's thrown into that world at a really pivotal point in history, and a really dark time of history when you really think about it, because that time period really changed everything and how wars are fought. So it did a very good job of keeping that gravity there, but also lightening the mood when it kind of needed to be eased off a little bit. The chemistry between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot was excellent. David Thewlis, kind of like you said, threw me off at first. I was like, oh, he's in this movie. Okay. I'm not going to go there. But, he did a wonderful job, I think, up until what you were talking about. And we'll go into that later. But overall, this was probably one of my favorite DC movies.
This, I kind of wish I would have never seen the last 25 minutes of this movie. Because, honestly, up until then, until things kind of twisted, it was probably my favorite movie of the year outside of Logan. I was seriously enjoying the fucking shit out of this movie. And it is phenomenally done. The ending isn't awful. Like, I would say all the previous movies in the DC extended universe just become a fucking train wreck at some point. And this movie never does that. And the whole time you're holding on, just waiting for it to fucking fall apart. And it really doesn't. I just felt like the ending was kind of a little lame.
It stumbles a little bit.
Yeah. And like, it was cool, it was flashy and all that stuff, but everything up until then I thought was just really cool. I loved seeing the Amazonian world or whatever of Mascara. that was fucking cool, seeing them training and all that stuff. I thought they did a great job of not spending a terribly long time, but giving you enough on Diana's, like, of her growing up and all that stuff and becoming this warrior and all, and training and all that stuff. That was so cool. And then the best parts of this movie are the moments between her and Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just so well done. It just... This movie has like a cheerfulness to it that's just fantastic. And then at times it can be fucking epic as shit to the point where it makes you want to cry at how epic it is. It's awesome. Like, the action is so fucking good in this movie. I just... When they're just... Especially kind of the first, like, big fight in the beginning when there's a bunch of them. Not spoiling anything right now, and they're just jumping all over the place and putting 3 arrows on their bow and shooting them and, like, fucking not even looking, shooting
just
at,
the
like,
over
that.
the top shit.
It's wild. It's fucking cool, and there's just some incredibly cool moments. And when Diana's, like, seeing the outside world and stuff, just really, really well done. And I liked how Chris Pine's character, Steve, right?
Steve, yep. Another Captain Steve.
Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor.
Yeah. I liked how he was done when they first got introduced. Like, I was expecting him to just be like, where the fuck am I? But when he would ask a question or two and she would just kind of spout out this nonsense that made no sense to him, he wouldn't press on. He would just be like, all right, whatever. You'll find out eventually. Type of thing.
I'm not getting this.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. I kind of liked how, you know, it just wasn't hitting. He wasn't just hitting it over the head of, like, well, what the fuck is
it wasn't like a plot machine, like a plot dump.
Yeah.
It's just like,
exactly.
Fine. All right, sure, that works.
Yeah, it was just a little bit here and there and all that stuff. And their relationship as she's learning what the real world's actually like and stuff. It was cool. I mean, I really think this is definitely the best DC movie in this newly started universe. Just because it just really doesn't fall apart to me.
No.
And there's a lot of genuinely really strong moments in acting and really great action in this movie. And the fucking soundtrack to this movie is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The whole way through. Something that I just never really think of with DC movies or superhero movies in general a lot is soundtracks. You know, something Marvel certainly doesn't do.
Except in Guardians.
Yeah, but even then that's like licensed stuff and but this is like original stuff and it sounds really, really well done. And this movie looks fucking cool. I mean, there's some moments of like CG where it's like, whatever. Yeah. They didn't want to put the extra $200 in to make it nice. I don't know movies, but I'm sure it's way more than $200. But still,
try a couple million.
I've always felt, even with Batman v Superman or Man of Steel or Suicide Squad to an extent, like the DC movies just look really fucking good visually and in a lot of sick shots, and this one's just fucking really, really well done. I like it, man. I think it's good. It's very good.
I was gonna say, one thing I want to say real quick is I like the fact that they really didn't over-sexualize the relationship between Steve and Diana.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this actually felt like a natural build-up for a relationship, not just, oh, hey, you're hot, I'm hot, let's fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have easily done that.
They really could.
I like that. I also like how, in a way, the movie existing in and of itself and outside of, like, in the real world, it kind of does. But the movie itself doesn't really have, like, an agenda about it.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's there, but it's not, like, hitting you over the head with it. Another thing that I really liked was, maybe the one thing that I had the problem, which was like you were saying in the last 25 minutes, they kind of go over the top with that whole blockbuster. We're gonna CG the shit out of everything, and having just rewatched Logan for the second time on Monday,
Yeah.
and seeing that finale where there's not really all that much. It's all like this kind of. It may, and again, that's because it's fresh in my mind too. So that's probably painting my perception a little bit. I'm like, I get it because the way the plot works, it worked out, but
and that's why like the ending just like. Yeah, it's entertaining to watch, but the movie I just felt was so grounded when it probably shouldn't have been, but it was.
Yeah.
Up until then, you know.
I think maybe probably the quality that we're kind of describing here is this movie focused on telling a story. It didn't focus on connecting to all these other movies in this whole giant universe. Yes, it exists within that universe. Yes, there's obviously going to be ways that it connects into. I feel like this is sort of like how Captain America led into the Avengers. Like, the Captain America movie, to a certain extent, the first one anyway, really wasn't an Avengers movie. In a way.
in a way, yeah.
Like, it focused on telling just that story. And that's what it kind of gave itself the limits. Like, okay, we're going to focus on this. We're not worried about the big picture or where the big picture exists, but we're focusing just on this little segment.
Yeah, it has a smaller cast of characters too, but you know that's expected.
Going back to my last point though, this might have some of my favorite fight scenes in movies. Like they're just really well done.
Yeah.
They're like how can you take this badass lady who's using a sword and a shield and sometimes a whip, and then you're gonna have put up against people with guns, and how does that make sense? And then they do it, and I'm like, all right, yeah. I buy that. That's cool. And so there's a lot of cool stuff with this. So.
Yeah, in the last thing I'll say here is that I felt like until the ending and when the twist comes and all that stuff, like the villain, like there's a villain, but the villain is the fucking German army.
Yeah,
and
that's really.
It just felt like it didn't feel ridiculous to me. Like they're doing a little bit of ridiculous stuff, but they're doing stuff that sort of kind of actually happened.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of
you're fighting an entity.
They took it a little bit more of like a imaginary way. Yeah.
True,
but still, like it was. That's what it was, and
but
it was cool.
I was gonna say this weapon actually existed. It was actually starting to be deployed at this time.
Yeah.
So
I just thought that was really fucking cool up until then. Like there really wasn't a villain.
You're fighting an entity, not a person.
Because an entity is always much more terrifying than something you can see in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scores before we maybe move into spoilers.
I'll give it an 8.5. I like this movie. I like this movie lots.
Solid 8.5 as well, yeah. Solid 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5 for me as well. DC has a good movie. But a movie that I could say that I thoroughly fucking enjoyed 90% of the time.
Yeah. It's weird saying that.
It really
for
is.
a DC movie.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, it's not the greatest superhero movie. There's definitely better. But honestly, in terms of origin stories, this one might be one of my favorites.
They do the whole origin thing really nicely.
Yes.
It's not. They kind of do what they need to do, and then they don't pound it into your head that like, this is how she becomes Wonder Woman. It's like here's a little bit. Okay, yep, she's Wonder Woman now. There you go. Have at it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Any spoilers?
I mean the whole thing was like basically even for like the whole last section up until David Thewlis's character, when he gets the armor, that's when I'm like, all right, okay, now you're losing.
Then I was like, this is
because like even when he's just like using like whatever powers, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. He's just like not. He's being like an all powerful person. She's trying to just punch him in the face.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. And then it was like, oh, okay, there you go. And then that was when his delivery and a lot of his lines started to like, all right, now you're getting a little over the top. But other than
I felt like that whole thing just went on too long, too.
Yeah, I mean the stuff that was going on around it was cool. Like all the stuff with Steve and what he was doing was really cool, really well
That
done.
was cool, but the one part, like plot hole wise, that just fucking made that whole thing fall apart to me is like there's a whole bunch of shit going on there between Wonder Woman and him, and like the German army does what? They're scrambling around for what? I just never really understood that, because the other guys just kind of infiltrated their way in there and then took some dudes out later, but like they weren't like fighting them outright in a gunfight, but they're like scrambling, like, yeah, shit's blowing up, maybe they think they're getting attacked, but they don't run over there and mobilize and try to see what the fuck's up. Like nothing happened until she all of a sudden was like, ah! And then there's a bunch of German soldiers burning.
And then she just went nuts. And just
I was like,
boom.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, that part just felt. That's why the ending just sort of just.
The whole I think probably, especially in terms of the action, my whole favorite sequence is you know, the iconic part from the trailer, starting from the trench all the way into the town, and when she like fucking takes out a tower all by herself. I'm like,
yeah, that was fucking cool.
I'm like,
the
like
whole
this.
like no man's land section was just the best part.
That was probably
So
that was probably one of my favorite action sequences in the movie.
Yeah, because like the one part, and then it's like she's just fighting people in the building, and then she's just jumping and running alongside the building. That's honestly like my favorite, where she just jumps out and she's just running. I'm like, that's a cool shot.
Yeah, like when she's first running out in No Man's Land and they're shooting her, she's just like, fuck your bullet. Then she puts her shield down. It's like, I wanted to cry. The music was so awesome. I'm like, this is so epic, dude. Holy shit. And then she starts jumping from like building to building, and then the Wonder Woman theme plays for the first time in the movie, and she's beating the fuck out of everybody. I'm like,
yeah, that was
oh man, it was so good. And one dude had his rifle pointed at her head, and she just fucking does some crazy shit. I'm like, ah.
The one thing that also this movie made me think was looking at it and like the whole theme of like is man worth it and whatnot, and the whole using chemical warfares. I almost hope the sequel doesn't take place in the modern day.
It's not. They actually just confirmed that it would take place in the modern day. Or no, sorry, I got you backwards. They said it's going to take place in contemporary times.
Because I want to see it'd be basically the same movie, but I think it'd be interesting to see her and, you know, World War II, atomic bombs, same kind of thing, except now the good guys made that one, and just to see how that
would be really interesting and very,
like, that's
I think, intriguing.
Like I get why it's like, yeah, you do the origin story, then do that. But like, why not just like have her just be like in the Justice League, but then have a lot of her adventures just kind of span,
be like her telling a story, basically, because that's what this movie basically was a flashback sequence.
Yeah. One plot hole to me, and maybe I misheard this wrong, but when they were on the boat and they were heading to London, Steve was like, I can't sleep with you because I'm married.
No, he's not.
No, he's saying because
he wasn't married.
He's not. He's not married. He's saying because he says I can't sleep with you because we're not married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was just something. Okay. Yeah. Because I must have misheard him. I thought he said, I'm married, I can't sleep with you type of thing. And then later I'm like, well, then, like, is he ever going to bring that up again? Like, what the fuck? That's just, my ears deceived me.
But I also like the fact that he actually had some sort of fucking morals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, first off, Gal Gadot is fucking gorgeous.
So like, sexy.
She's nice to look
God.
But that's beside the point. But like, come on, World War One. Actually, just any time period in history.
You ain't seen a woman in a couple months.
Yeah, you have not seen a woman they can put your meat into in how long, and all of a sudden here you are on a boat in the middle of the fucking ocean with that.
You were also on an island.
Yeah,
just
full of.
That's why I resonate very much with what was the character's name?
Samir.
Samir. I resonate with him. He's like, how do we? Oh, there's a woman, an island completely full of women. How do we get there? I'm like, that resonates with me a little bit. But
I also like when she first ran into Steve. She like was looking at him like, holy shit.
Like, oh, this is...
And she, like, touched me. She's like, holy shit, he's real.
Because this is something she's only, like, ever heard stories about. And...
Normally things that, like, they did when, like, after her and Steve meet, where it's that thing of somebody who doesn't understand basic human customs comes in and they're asking a bunch of questions, and it's just, like, basically, you know, to show off that, like, we don't make sense as a species. Like, normally that kind of aggravates me because it's, like, in just about every movie of this kind it shows up, but they did it
It was
did
very well
nicely.
done in this movie.
Because it's just like, oh yeah, but it's like, oh yeah, well these two things don't make sense, but you say they're both true, and it's yeah, that's all I got.
Another thing I liked from the movie was, except for the little bit in the beginning with the Wayne Enterprises truck and the briefcase, no gratuitous cameos.
Not really.
Nah.
Like they're really, and
I was especially right there at the end. I was like, because there was like a thud going on outside. I'm like, oh, Batman's on the roof. I'm like, oh, come on.
That's what I was thinking.
Does he have to have a cameo in every movie now? Do they have to make Ben Affleck feel like he's special enough?
But I like the fact that this was a superhero movie that is going to be part of a greater universe with no cameos. Really, no true cameos. Yes, there was the Wayne Enterprises truck and briefcase and this super secret squirrel shit it seemed like going on in the beginning of the movie. But there was no Superman. There was no Batman. There was no Flash, Green Arrow, Aquaman, Cyborg, what have you. None of that. And it was just, I think, so refreshing.
Yeah.
Because almost every Marvel movie, with the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy, I would say, has all of these gratuitous cameos. And it kind of gets ridiculous.
Yeah. It does. And yeah, that's why this movie's cool. Because it kind of just stands on its own.
You could not watch anything else. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That picture that got taken of them, that exact picture is in Batman v Superman,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's pretty cool that they kind of got that right before.
I'm also surprised that moment happened like in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Like once that happened in the middle of the movie, I'm like, Steve.
But it wasn't. Steve's death, I think, was very well done. It was very well shot. It was very well written. Because it wasn't too long. It wasn't overly dramatic. It was just, hey, here it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And poof. Gone. Like, they don't even really show it. Like, I was expecting, like... Because I'm assuming he had, like, a lighter or something.
No. Yeah, he had his gun pointed at the
his
bomb.
gun back. I didn't... Because you really don't see what's in his hand.
And then, like, yeah.
And then it cuts out of the plane and...
And then that's when Wonder Woman freaks out, and then she just decides that all these Germans over here, you don't deserve your teeth anymore.
You don't deserve life anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Wonder Woman.
It's a thing.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Wonderful movie,
like
and she's a wonderful woman.
It's a great
She's
movie.
a wonderful woman.
It's a great movie. I definitely recommend it. If you just like if you like superhero movies, definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
I like how, for the most part, anytime she was about to kick someone's ass, she let her hair down. But when it was up, she was like business. She was just going to have a chat with you.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's kind of like a mullet.
All right. Quick question: glasses or no glasses?
You're talking in general, or just in her
I'm
case?
just talking like in her case. Because, like, she looked really good without them, but she also looked really good with them.
I'd go with the glasses.
Yeah, why not?
Just a question.
Yeah. No, I mean, she has very pretty eyes.
But it was also, like, one of those scenes in the movie where it's like, oh, they're trying to make her, like, less, to use Captain Steve's word, distracting.
Less distracting.
And it kind of had the opposite effect.
I just dress her in oversized clothing, and then just, that's what they do in every movie. Just dress her in oversized clothing and other stuff. Basically do what they try to do with Halle Berry and Catwoman. Not to bring up that movie, that atrocity. Yeah. Basically try to do that. Try to very poorly hide the fact that it's Halle Berry, and Halle Berry's an attractive lady hidden underneath all that.
If Catwoman has a daughter, is it Kitty Girl?
That sounds terrible.
It really does.
No.
No.
All right.
That's
See ya.